Welcome back to the Quest for Treasure on the Quest for Details channel. I'm stoked. We are in a whole new spot. Never been here before. Looked at it on Google Earth. Looks like remnants of a house and stuff up here. Here's the old road. You can hear the new road paralleling us. We're gonna go away from that soon. This is deep and handmade, and lots of signs of people. And there is a slough here, and this was the ferry crossing. 2 points of land. This was the cluster of busy stuff at the head of it. So a water crossroads, if you will. We're gonna go see what we find at the crossroads. Give away a little bit of our location here. You've seen this volcano. Now from a whole nother angle. It's as far north of it, looking straight down on the lake as you could. Eucalyptus, you hear the birds? They come here to this slough in masses. It's just beautiful. We're actually surrounded. Like I said, this is a point of land where there is ferry and now a bridge. And if you look out there, the water's full of every kind of species. It's probably 95 degrees today. This is the Spanish grasses that have gone wild in California that consume everything, give us our golden California look. And this is the type of spot where we get to search. And then the next flat one up there, look at the size of this tree. It's probably a lower house. So, eucalyptus for windbreaks because they grow fast. Absolutely not native, only native to Australia. They're another one of those trees where you're like, okay, these are all babies. And they're downhill, so I guarantee we'll get uphill and there'll be giants that these have migrated down from as seedlings. Okay, on with it. Let's hunt. Using the Garrett AT Pro. And what am I running it in? Pro, custom. So here's our different modes, 6 of them. There's custom coins in 0 and pro mode, meaning proportionate audio, and 3 modes in standard, if that makes any sense. Little mode button down below, so I'll see your power button. So the way I have it set, custom, which is the one just like on a sound mixer, you can set your own. So I have just the iron discriminated and a couple more notches. And I start right below the 50s and keep everything in there. And yep, brand new batteries. Don't have anything notched or anything in there. You can see that all the bars are there. Those represent the targets that you're leaving in or discriminating against. And you won't be able to hear the noises because I'm going to be discreet and not rude. You know, we're out in public, so try not to be obnoxious with my noises. And got the pinpointer. And let's see what we find. The gore. I am just wet with sweat, and I'm in the shade. Holy crud. Here's our first target that I spent a little bit digging for. As you can see, why. It's small. But our next target, I think, is this olive orchard. So we're up here on the flat, and these are all littler olive trees. What it means, there's an orchard up here that's gone wild. So, oh, look right there. Those are some sort of, at the base of that is a house site. Look, all these big old fir trees and things that are not native to here. Always you plant, your ornamental trees around your home, and even when the home is gone, they're still there standing out from everything else. You can see the general blend, even if they're native like 50 miles away when you see that cluster. Let's just head straight there, but we'll leave our detector on. But yeah, curious, what's this? Animal digging. So dirt thrown out there. So we're up here digging around too. I got all my equipment. This is a hard thing to do. Got shovels, this, Oh, my gear. Yeah. But look, you can tell this is a clearing. There's nothing but smaller stuff here. Oh, and there's a vineyard out beyond it now. So, oh, look at all this vinca. Okay. So, right beyond that, no trespassing and yada yada yada. Look at this cedar tree. See that? That's somebody's front yard, baby. See where these big old blue spruce, I believe. There's a tall olive right in front of them. Sorry, my lens. Look at all these. This is their olive orchard with a vinca ground cover. Oh, look at those olive trees. Oh, and the fence post. We are in the yard. This is pretty much the house site. You can kind of tell. Right on. Let's go down here a little ways. Look. High cedar. You can tell it's the boss, huh? He was like, I was in the front yard. Awesome. I wonder what's under the ground here. These are big trees that have fallen over. Those are the root wads left. And then this looks like it goes downhill in all directions again. So, literally, the knoll. And yeah, vinca going crazy too. So this is probably the road winding up that we saw down there. And it kind of came through either way. These big old oaks. That was a huge pine. And that thing's top is gone. These are the limbs that fell off of it. Look at these limbs. And you can see the woodpeckers make their entrance hole on the bottom. Up near the top, where hollowing it out won't make the heavy part fall. And then when the rain comes down, it doesn't go in their hole. That's like a little woody woodpecker home up there. Okay, nice. Let me tell me when you can see the target. It's here, it's right in front of you. Oh yeah. That is a square nail. First target. That is awesome. This held together the structure that was here. Continue. We want to see more. Okay, every handful here is a square nail. Literally just scuffing around in the dirt with the pinpointer, and you can find the next and the next and the next. So, definitely those. We are unskunked right there. It's a pretty old one. Use the forehead sweat here. Paper and brass. That's old news. I have to clean that one up for you. Latron. So we're back in here now, but you can see, no you can't. Time to switch cameras. Quest for Details needs some. Anyhow. Look at these trees. These olive trees were obviously well kept for a long time, or they would be a thicket at the base, and that is huge. Plus the style, if you recognize the leaves, it's been a little bit. The species, you know, I can't remember, but these were an older. I brought some of these seedlings from another really old place to my property. I'm growing them, but it's not the big bluish leaf olive. It's the little greasy dark leafed olive, and they're even more thickety. This is all an olive thicket that's gone crazy behind them. But yeah, look at these trees. That's the detail I'm trying to show you. Those are, you know, how long does it take to grow an olive like that and prune it when they were here to round off all the knots and stuff. So these are some of the first pioneers in California. We're right at this spot for sure. But like I say, it's one of the main sloughs on the lake. You couldn't get past here without going past here. So, okay, I'm kind of hanging out here by the, ow, deer fly. The little brown ones. Ouch! He's on me. That's the second bite too. I gotta pay attention. Anyways, there's the big trees over there. Most of the wind here comes from this direction. And this big open area is probably the fields that are now vineyards. And so this is probably the windbreak. This is probably the house site. Ow! Third time. It's waiting for me to talk to you guys and it's biting me. They're real smooth. They land and then they actually bite. They have a little biter, a little biting fly. Size of a house fly though, so it's not funny. This is the road. This road goes out, twists down, goes that way and twists down. This is the house site. I'm getting lots of targets right here. I mean, I haven't picked them, but all of a sudden it's beep, 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 and you can just feel it. This is, these trees have been here, these trees have been here, those trees have been here. This is where the house was. For real. Probably a deer. Ow. No joke. Injury on screen. What were you? To the knee. Is there a blood spot? Well, remember that. Well, remember that. I'll show you the blood spot later. Let's see if I can conjure it up here. Ish. Okay. Sacrifice, it says. Deer, right? Okay. I'm gonna move out in some of the open areas again a little bit later. Expecting the seven dwarfs to come marching out of some of these spots. Or something. Yeah, there's the little house site. The square of it by the road. When you walk over this, there's actually the old berms of like rutted up mud. And yeah, there's probably more buildings and more action and stuff. As you've seen, not all the treasures are right up next to the house. So some of them are... Okay. On with it, Questy. Don't know what this is, but it's giving me... I'll show you the numbers. 85, 88, 87, 90. Be very clear on it. And there's its overall shape. What were you? You're just a bolt. Okay, real gently. That's not real gently, Nate. It is, trust me. Expert shovel person. Oh, it's a cap. Or a fitting. Okay. Threaded. I'm going to assume that this is not silver. And it's just going off like that because it's round. Thought it was a trigger at first. Okay, guess that's what it is a cap. High numbers though, it's not reading brass and stuff. Tell me what you think. Just a brass cap, right? Or is there another crazy piece of silver that I don't understand? We'll have to clean it up, you can never tell at this point. It looks pretty utilitarian though, you know? The next big clearing, and here's our next target. It's really thick. reading up low 53s and such. What are you now? You're out of the dirt, 51 to 56. So higher than a nickel. I don't know, maybe a pewter spoon. You see the silver of it there? Silver. But I'll say utensil handle. Okay, so let me show you my little rig here. Not only are we tethered to the AT Max, but I keep in my bag, as I tangle all the cords, endlessly around the pointers. Ah, what a nightmare. Don't fall in the water, we'll die in our net of electronics. This is the best charger that I've ever found. I've tried to show this in other videos, I'll do it again. Not sponsored by them or anything. And this charge your phone up or your camera 7 times or something. One button on it lights up those 3 lights, shows you how much power you have. You plug it in there to a car or a wall or anything and it charges it, and you have a fast port or a slow trickle port, and that's all it is, and that's the brand name. And they have different sizes. This is their biggest, holds the most power. When I'm going on a long trip, this is one of the things I've invested in is, you know, I have like 3 different cards for memory, like 32 GB each that I can switch out. The little free readers and stuff they give you with it. And then I have 2 of these, about 65 bucks. For the last 2 years I've acquired 2 of them. And I keep them in a little pouch, and they're so strong that you can lifetime on them. So whenever your little battery starts flashing, you don't have to palpitate or anything. You just plug them in. Most backpacks nowadays are made for sound systems and stuff, so I could actually rig this through all the little holes, but I don't. And that just slings around back. You can see I got 1 cord. I'll just rip it out as I show you. Let's see. Okay, there. And so that allows me to, well, I can't show you the camera. The cord comes off me, runs out to you, gives me full arms extension in filming. My little pinpointer on my side, and then I keep this clip on the camera. I use a little Sony Handycam because I like to be able to zoom and focus, but yeah, it does get beat up. And I clip this onto its little thing, and that goes onto my little belt hoop each time. So imagine that's already on the camera. So it's really secure, and then that just dangles there with the camera on it. I'll put that back on the camera. And then the shovel, and then if I'm carrying a big bag, I'm using my pocket today because we're exploring. And yeah, which will leave you with soda cans. I have 3 soda cans in my pocket now. So that's the beginning of showing you my gear. That's what I'm rolling with right now. The nail head on the Garrett. I mean the coil. I always call those heads snakehead. Oh. And oh, this is where I paused to show you the whole thing. Brain dead, we need to drink some water. This came out of the hole and I was like, oh, emerald! It's melted glass. So for some reason there was a fire here. And I just thought that was cool. Come on, I always like melted glass. Especially when it ends up nice and it's from a relic field. So, or bonfires from the 70s, you never know. Kids partied everywhere back then. They were allowed, which was probably a good thing. Think about that. Here is our next target. Big old chunk of molten lead. So probably again also older because it's beyond sinker size and on the top of a mountain. So working my way out into a whole nother area, and I see big old olive trees past that. So probably several houses here. Whole little cluster on top of the hill here. Well, I'm going to do a to this point cleanup. So we can do the cleanups on site because I always like the way that looks, you know. Show you the reality, that's why I show you everything. There's the garbage that I dug when it's super dirty. Here's our really heavy thing. You know, they made silver, all kinds of silver things that went in your bathroom, wash basin, knob things and stuff. Oh my god, Nate. Okay. Chunk of lead. Piece of early looking stuff. Ceramics. 3 really old shotgun shells. Brass and paper. Utensil handle. Probably pewter. It is. It's my first pewter spoon. Or fork. You see it went to a smaller shaft there. I thought it was a deflated CO2 cartridge when I first picked it up, but it's not. Just one layer. Our glass and our square nails that validate the age. So this is an exciting site. And I promise, it's such hard digging. This is a hard pack hill. We will be back here. We'll come early in the morning. We'll spend all day long and we'll see what sort of things we can find here. But maybe after it's wet. You know, California has hit this bone dry state. And it's just rock hard where this could be mud. And you could be flying through signals. I mean, I have beaten, let me do this where I can show you. I have beaten holes in the center of my boots. I'm sure you're familiar with that. And my ankle bones hurt like they didn't already. And all that for stomping this thing. So this would be more like where Warren from NQ Explorers uses the pickaxe and stuff. But I don't want to come up to a park with a pickaxe. You freak people out. The shovel already is a little non-discreet, but you can't do this with a hand trowel, you know? So, there's our cluster of trees on top of the hill. Our olive orchard. The different flat, hard-packed areas, the roads. I mean, another awesome spot. And, yeah. Whew. End of the day, I was coming by here, so I knew that, I wanted to check it out, so one of those. Not skunked at all. Happy. Our results are in. The judges say old. You saw the olive trees and stuff. So I'm gonna keep going. If I find more stuff, there'll be an additional little wrap up, and if any of this stuff cleans up super special, I'll throw those in there too. But for now, the quest for details is leaving sight, swinging the entire way. Swinging the whole way down, right? People don't believe me when I tell them that the coyotes and foxes spend a lot of their time digging grubs out of the ground. They're like, see the wad there? That was a paper hornet's nest in the ground. If you've ever been weed whacking and you've hit the top of one of those, see those chambers? It's a big mess of bad and you can't outrun them. And this fox or this coyote went in here and dug that out of the ground and ate all the grubs and stuff. That whole colony's gone. So not like you want every one of those gone in the world, but there's the balance, right? Get rid of all the foxes and coyotes and things that would dig that out, and you're just gonna have a bunch of that with nothing to check it and balance it. So there's my proof. Some of those nasty predators and vermin and stuff, they are out there helping us out. And good spot for it. This counts. It's a road find. And it's interesting because I thought, hey, right on the surface, now remember that this being the surface, see the brown and then the lighter? We have like 1 inch of stuff here of leaf buildup and then just this hard pack. And believe me, check this out. It's like, okay, no joke. So things aren't going to go very deep in there. This was in amongst it, and I hate to keep doing this nugget thing to you. But here's a nugget that's not aluminum, that's ringing up. Set it right there. It's also not rusty. And I stopped because it was giving me my gold numbers. See, that's 67, 70. Could be brass. be anything. Ooh. See that? Mosquitoes all over me again. Okay, well, we'll clean her up. And I have to show you that in the future cleanup part of this. We'll be back after these messages. Okay, like 1 foot away from our happy little target over here is our next little happy target. Oh, I'm just kidding. It is a happy little target though. What is that? Is that some sort of a, looking like a hinge. Look like some sort of hinge with a pin. That looks like it's going to clean up and be kind of ornate, doesn't it? Or junk. Ornate or junk. You decide. Let's swing over it. Well, there's the numbers anyhow. Make what you will of that. Okay. Well, definitely be a cleanup here in a little while. At home. We'll see ya. I'm literally just trying to get down this road and it's getting darker and darker. Spooky. No, I'm just kidding. Wow, there's olives off down the hill, so they have spread themselves. Okay, on with it. And the modern clad quarter, 25 cents US. $quarter to finish it out. Big old osprey and its mate. There's the nest. So I just want to say something I've been meaning to say. Questing around constantly. I want you to know that it's not that I don't want to be at home in my garden with my family. I raised 2 stepdaughters from the ages of 4 and 6, and my own daughter with them when she showed up as a family. Bought a home I work labor. I've always worked labor. It's how I'm still paying off the home. I never know how far to go into my personal life, but if you have kids, and it's one of the reasons why you can't get out there and quest all the time. I understand, and I just spent a lot of years at home, and I was happy to. And when I wasn't at work, I came home every day. I would sneak in a half-an-hour search once a month, 3 shows a month. You have a newborn and all that, and you know, your priorities change. Me and my wife, I guess we're separated at this point. It's a detail that, you know, brings up shame in me and stuff. I don't really need a whole lot of responses in all this. I just want you to know. I see wow, and then people tell me, you know, I'm envious of your life. I live a great life. It's wonderful. I've been blessed in every way. It's hard. It's going through a hard time right now. You know, I have a kid in college and another one in her room because she's a teenager. And honestly, a lot of the stuff that's gone on in the home has caused rifts and stuff, and so that occurs. And right now, some of the best places for me to be when things aren't going well is out on the road, because that's what I knew. That's what I was. I was a road dog. I was kind of born gypsy, and you know, only settled for the big chunks like school and fatherhood and marriage and stuff. So that's the short of it. Let's just keep it that. You know, the road goes ever on. The greatest adventure is what lies ahead. I just want you to know, there's days where I wake up pitch black. And somehow if you choose a quest, at least, you know, it gives you something to buckle your shoes on for. So, I go and I go. And we keep moving. I'm glad that you're with me. And you're lucky enough to be home. Don't worry about it. You're not stuck. It's a good place to be. There's the blood spots, by the way, where I got knelt on the nail. Balance. Oh yeah, that was worth it. There you go. I keep thinking I have the finishing shot on this. This bridge.